time this weekend for the NASCAR Whelen Euro Series. It's the EuroNASCAR 2 category about to take to the circuit for 31 laps of racing. You see there the forecast on the screen saying 30 degrees. Yeah, it feels like 30 degrees. So there you go. That about sums up the weather out here at the moment. It's just gone 4 o'clock local time here at Brands Hatch in sunny Kent. The American Speed Fest rolling on here on the Sunday afternoon into the early stages of Sunday evening. And it's about 17 minutes before the drivers are commanded to start their engines here today. And it's certainly going to be an exciting race. That much is certain. We saw some great racing out of every party concerned earlier today. Oh, sorry, I should say earlier in the weekend. Yesterday, of course, NASCAR took advantage of NASCAR overtime in the final moments of the race to move from third to first. His first win in EuroNASCAR 2 on the road. Of course, he did get the win at Valencia, but he didn't get to step on the top of the podium. This time, he did get to take the flag first and jump onto the top step of the podium. NASCAR so happy with yesterday's efforts, and we'll have to see if he can replicate them now in this second EuroNASCAR 2 race of the weekend. Round 4 of the championship overall. And it will be Vladimiros Tsiotsis and Alberto Nasca on that front row of the grid. The number 5 car and the number 88 car on the front row. And we've seen this Brands Hatch Indy circuit providing us some fabulous racing and providing the spectators with fabulous racing too. And certainly overtaking, when it's done right here, is great to watch, but it can be tricky at times. I think the best overtaking opportunity we've seen this weekend is certainly the Druids hairpin. Unsurprisingly, of course, we've seen some brave maneuvers around Paddock Hill Bend as well. And this short circuit, the Brands Hatch Indy circuit, is always great fun. Great value for money, as some would say, when you're watching the action here at Brands. The spectator banks, the grandstands, still very much full of drivers. You see, or full of spectators, and many of them driving here in their own American vehicles. The American Speed Fest attracting car clubs and American car enthusiasts from around the country, and I think around Europe as well. I think a few people have made the trip over from elsewhere to join us as spectators. Of course, the paddock itself, the entry list itself, is very much multinational here in the EuroNASCAR world. Welcome to all parties here in EuroNASCAR. The cars are being ushered towards pit exit now. We should see the green light and the cars heading out onto the circuit to line up ahead of the formation lap very shortly. And there you just saw briefly was the 72 car of the 72-year-old Michael Bleekemolen, the patriarch of the Bleekemolen racing dynasty, who has been racing for, I believe, over 50 years. Well over 50 years, actually, thinking about it. I think he started racing in the mid-late 60s, if memory serves me correctly. 13 minutes until the famous words are uttered then. Although, of course, the engines are already started to get the cars around the circuit ahead of the formation laps. There's been plenty of drama on the run to the corner you see on screen at the moment. Graham Hill Bend in both EuroNASCAR Pro and EuroNASCAR 2. Easy to make contact there when someone tries to make an overtake. It's always exciting physical racing in the NASCAR Whelen Euro Series, and we've seen plenty of that this weekend. Be interested to see whether the likes of Ali Kolak are out there on the grid. I suspect the 29 car may be a little bit too damaged after the incident for her earlier on. She brought out one of the safety cars during the pro race after coming off circuit, coming out of the last corner. May also be some question marks over the 54 car of Luli Del Castello. Gianmarco Ercoli, of course, involved in a collision with Alan Day in EuroNASCAR Pro. And that did damage the 54 quite a lot. The 24 of Alan Day is now on the grid. Of course, Christian Maltrek taking the wheel for EuroNASCAR 2. Here you see an overhead look at the circuit then, 1.929 kilometers. We're going to have 31 laps of racing as opposed to the 38 that you see on screen. And the Paddock Hill bend, that first corner, so easy to run wide there into the unforgiving gravel trap. The Druids braking zone we've seen is a key place to try and make overtakes. And then, of course, you have that Graham Hill bend, turn 3, the Cooper Straight down towards Surtees. And I think we're going to have some interviews now. Andre Vigold down there in the pit, on the starting grid, and I believe Vladimiros Tsiotsis is there with him. To you, Andre. Oh, seems like we're going to have to wait a minute there for Andre. In fact, I think he might be down there ready to go now.
All right, first of all, information, we have Luli de Castello on the grid. The 54 car is ready for car racing, but now with the pole sitter, Vladimiros. First position in the second race. How are you going to approach that one?
Yeah, I mean, fast, good start, of course. And then stability and fast laps is the only way. Will give my best once again, and yes, I will do my best.
All right, thank you so much. Good luck and have fun.
Yeah, that's our pole sitter.
We're going back to you, Adam.
Yeah, that's our pole sitter, Vladimiros Tsiotsis, that we just heard from, and I'm sure we'll hear from a couple more drivers before this race gets started in earnest. Andre always doing fabulous work down there. There you see the car of Alberto Nasca being watched over by the Cal Racing team. Sadly, Max Lanza not able to race in NASCAR Pro this weekend. Martin Dubek, the defending EuroNASCAR 2 champion, is with Andre.
Martin Dubek, second row in this race. What is your plan today?
My plan is podium again, but I hope, I think that I can win. Yesterday I did third lap time during the first race, so that's P3 for a start. As me, it will be again same like yesterday. Too many safety cars during the race, but it should help me. So I will do my best for a win.
You have the same set of tires since qualifying due to the regulations. How good are your tires for that second race?
We have same setup the whole weekend, so it's same from the qualification. But I think that the setup is really good because I try it in Elite Pro race. So the car is good, and I hope it will be an amazing race like before.
All right, thank you so much and have fun.
There you go, Martin Dubek having a chat with Andre there. And great to hear from Martin. That was an interesting forecast, wasn't it, from Martin Dubek? He said, I reckon we're going to have too many safety cars again. Let's see if that proves to be true. Certainly, I think every race we've won this weekend thus far has had a safety car. Indeed, it has. So certainly he has reason and precedent to suggest that. But we'll have to wait and see. Meanwhile, down at the number 17 car, Mr. Garisto and Andre.
Ciao Francesco, come stai?
Ciao Andre, so I'm feeling well. If your question is how this race is gonna go, I hope very well. We're starting from P7, we have all the chances to fight for the top spots. I'm not here to finish a race like unfortunately yesterday happened that someone banged me from behind. Hopefully it's not gonna happen again. We're fully focused. We know the guys in front are hot, but we know we can get them. So that's the goal.
Driving in front of so many people at the American Speed Fest, how is it for you as a young driver? You moved to the UK, you study here, and now it's your second home crowd, let's say that like this. How is it?
Well, it's amazing. The crowd here gives you a lot of boost, and yeah, it's as you said, my second home. So I really hope to give this crowd a good show and hopefully a good finish.
Grazie mille, good luck.
There you go. Studies at the University of Bolton does Francesco Garisto. You actually see some of the University of Bolton stickerage on that car. They actually look after quite a few racing cars, some of their engineering students and so on. And they also are backing, in part, the efforts of Francesco Garisto, one of their students. Yeah, we're looking at Alberto Nasca's car there. In second place at the moment, you see there the camera that he has on the car for the races. Get a great view from NASCAR's machine in his post-race wrap-up videos. Liam Hazeman's down there with Andre.
Liam, a good and solid weekend for you in both categories so far. One race left, what you're expecting?
Well, for sure, now we're much more in the front than expected, so we're starting fourth. So I think we for sure have a great chance to be for sure on the podium. Our chances are quite big now, so yeah. We just have to see to come through the first lap and then building up the race from lap 1 and 2 and then see where we finish at the end.
You're now in your second event in EuroNASCAR in auto racing, pulling double duties, driving in both divisions. In which areas do you think you have improved since Valencia?
Well, for sure, one thing is for sure is really getting knowledge of the car. For sure, in Valencia, I had the first race in Elite 2. I had some quite difficulties with, used tires and everything. So no, for sure now you're getting much more along with the car. So yeah, no, we have really improved. So yeah, no, I'm really happy with the results we can get out of it and also the improvement we did from Valencia. So yeah, no, for sure it's a great step.
All right, thank you so much, dankjewel, and good luck.
Hazeman's then from the outside of row 2, fourth on the grid for Liam Hazeman's. He'll be looking to try and hold off this man, Ulysse Delceau. On quite a few occasions, we've seen the drivers on the inside be able to make up positions on those on the outside. So Ulysse Delceau will be watching Liam Hazeman's movements very carefully when the cars are released at the end of the formation laps. We see there the 27 car, that's Patrick Schauber, and back down to Andre.
I'm here with Alberto NASCAR. You're starting second on the outside row. What is your plan to get by Vladimiros Tsotsis in the early stages of the race?
Yeah, this is not the best place to start because it was better to start third, and because you have the advantage of the line in turn 1 and turn 2. Here I have the disadvantage both on Tsotsis and on Dubek. So the goal is to improvise as always. There are no plans now. I just brake, I see when the other drivers brake, and then I do what I feel better to do in that moment.
All right, grazie mille, good luck and have fun.
There you go then, taking a look at the car of Claudio Capelli, the 18 Race Art Technology car. It's run by pretty much a completely different set of people, even though he does race with a Race Art in the 16 in EuroNASCAR Pro. It's, to our understanding, the first time that a driver has driven two different chassis in EuroNASCAR Pro and EuroNASCAR 2. And certainly Claudio making sure he gets his mileage in today, let's say, Claudio Capelli. Here is the 47 car that we're just having a look at on screen now. That's Leonardo Colavita in the rookie trophy element of the EuroNASCAR 2 race. Of course, we also have the Legend category and the Lady Trophy as well. So there's 3 different kind of subclasses within EuroNASCAR 2 to consider as well. We're just under 2.5 minutes away from the command being given to the drivers to restart their engines. You see that 17 car. Of course, that car was retired late on in the EuroNASCAR Pro race earlier on by Bernardo Manfrey. So it's good to see that Francesco Garisto is out there on the circuit and ready to go racing. And as he said, as he alluded to, he had some comings together, I think, among others, with Paul Dufresne in the race yesterday. And I think both parties pointed the finger at the other. And, well, let's see who comes out on top among those 2 in this one. Dufresne starting 11th, Francesco Garisto starting in P7. Fans are leaving the grid, fans and personnel. I think I see there, among others, Gianmarco Ercoli just supporting Luli Del Castello as Luli takes to the grid. Good to see that that Cal Racing car has been fixed. Of course, it was very, very taily after the contact with the 24 car, then driven by Alan Day in the EuroNASCAR Pro race. So hopefully the balance on that car is okay, because that was the primary issue for the 54 crew after the contact. I believe in a few moments we're going to have drivers start your engines.
Both work for Yamaha, and thanks to Whelen, we've been guests today, so it's just been an incredible experience and it's just fantastic.
And now you get to top it off by saying this famous
So 30 seconds until the command is given. Just hearing there from the young man who works for Yamaha and is there courtesy of Whelen. He's going to get the opportunity to give the command in about 15 seconds. I'm going to hand it down to Andre so we don't miss the command.
Drivers, start your engines.
There you go. The command is given and the engines fire up. Something like 12,000 brake horsepower, all firing up at once as we get ready for this final race of the weekend for the NASCAR Whelen Euro Series at the American Speed Fest. The 4th round of the season for EuroNASCAR 2. Alberto Nasca will be pulling double duty next time out at Vallelunga. I understand he'll also be racing in the Italian Legends Championship when we head to Vallelunga on the 9th and 10th of July. So this is his last opportunity to, I don't know, have time to eat lunch at a racetrack, and anytime soon. He's not going to have as much downtime once we go to Vallelunga. Speaking of drivers who are actually doubling up, the driver of the number 58 Racing Fuel entry, that's Matthew Ellis, the British driver debuting in EuroNASCAR this weekend. He's also been racing a TVR Tuscan in the Bernie's V8 series, one of the support categories to our event here this weekend. So he's been a busy boy. He lines up a little further back in the grid in 16th position. One of the cars struggling to get started. That's Christian Maltrek not getting underway on the grid, but here is the order at the sharp end. Vladimiros Siotzis is getting started on the pole position. The driver out of Cyprus starting on pole alongside Alberto Nasca. Martin Dubek starts from 3rd position, and Liam Hazemans on the 2nd row of the grid. He'll be looking to get another podium on his resume for this race. Ulysse Delso starting from 5th position, and Claudio Capelli starting from P6 in the 18 car. That was on the podium in EuroNASCAR Pro earlier. Francesco Garisto in 7th, Leonardo Colavita on the 4th row of the grid in 8th place. P9 for Advait Dioda, the driver who is based just down the road in London, the Indian driver And rounding out the top 10 on the grid there was Gil Linster in the 56 car. I'll keep running down some of the others. Paul Geffreau in 11th place. Patrick Schober in 12th in the 27 car. 7th row of the grid is Tuomas Pointinen in the 23. Melvin de Groot in the 69 lines up 14th. Alberto Panebianco is in 15th in the 89 car alongside the aforementioned Matthew Ellis. Alia Koluk is scheduled to be out in the 29 car, but I don't think she is out there. I think I saw a gap on the grid around that car, and sure enough, she's not there. So that's a shame for Alia Koluk that she can't take part in this race. 18th place is Miguel Gomez on the grid in the 46 car. The famously liveried car that he shares with Roman Iannetta. The 10th row of the grid, Yevgen Sokolovsky. The Gulf colours on that car, you'll be hard-pressed to miss that one. Paolo Valeri lines up in the number 8 in 20th place. 21st and 22nd, Roberto Benedetti and Christian Malcharek, who I think did eventually get the car moving. We'll have to see where he is and whether he takes the start. 23rd and 24th, Michael Blekemolen, Luli Del Castello. Then it's Kasparis Vingulis and Yanni Kokalainen. Alin Leubnerger and Eric Quintal line up 27th and 28th. Ariana Casoli set to round out the order here. And I can see Malcharek there. So Malcharek has taken his place on the grid. We have 2x2 formation now as we get ready for the rolling start at Brands Hatch. EuroNASCAR 2, round 4 of the season. At the sharp end of the order, it's Vladimiros Siotzis and Alberto Nasca on the front row of the grid. Nasca, the points leader, the man who won the race yesterday. Let's see what Alberto Nasca can do from P2. Martin Dubeck there on the inside of row 2. And here we go then, the rolling start. We're about to go racing. And who's going to have the lead into the first corner? Looks like it's going to be Siotzis. Dubeck getting a bit loose there through the first corner. We get a car off in the gravel further back. And Nasca looks like he may have held on to second. Or has he? Because Dubeck's there on the inside. Hazeman's trying to follow Nasca around the outside line. Side by side between Nasca and Dubeck. And Nasca just about retains second place. Siotzis into the lead of the race as expected from pole position. And it is Siotzis that leads after that first lap. Dubeck there in third place then, so the top 4 all where they started. Dubeck not close enough for a move this time. Siotzis felt the need to go defensive there, the Cypriot driver. In the lead of the race, but I think he's feeling under threat from Alberto Nasca. Nasca, the Italian driver, has felt very good about his pace relative to Siotzis this weekend. Lap 3 of the race is about to begin with the top 4 already breaking away. Ulysse Delso there in 5th place behind this man Liam Hazemans. In 6th place is the car of Francesco Garisto. So Garisto in 6th early on. We've got a car that's fallen through the order a bit there. I believe that could well be Gomez that lost some places there. Yes, Gomez fell 4 positions in the number 46 of that last lap from 16th to 20th. So he may have made an error there or had a moment with somebody else. Down the Cooper Straight go the leading pack. Seems as though the top 7 now are in one long queue. Then there's a bit of a gap to Gil Linster in 8th place. Melvin de Groot in 9th. And rounding out the top 10 is Schober in the number 27 car. Patrick Schober, who is one of the rookie trophy drivers Oh, a bit wide there for Vladimiros Siortsis. Got to be careful there. You can't take too many liberties with the outside of Paddock Hill Bend. If you get a wheel on that gravel, you're doing very well if you don't end up embedded completely, or at least going rally crossing. Yevgen Sokolovsky was going wide further back there in the battle for 17th position. The cars thunder down Cooper Straight for the 4th time of asking. Some good scraps going on further down the pack. It looks like Matthew Ellis in the 58 car under some pressure from Ponton in the 23. That's the racing fuel entry, of course, the 58 car with the numbers on the side of a car, an homage to the late Marco Simoncelli. There's Gil Lindstedt in the 56. He runs 11th now, so Paul Giffreau has got past him to move into the top 10. So Matthew Ellis has actually made up 4 positions since the start of the race as well. The 58 car now runs in 12th place. Advait Deodar, meanwhile, in the 90 car that we see on screen, he's down to 14th, so he's not had the best of starts to this one. The driver who is based in London, and there's the number 8 car of Paolo Valeri as well. But Matthew Ellis has made up 4 positions from 16th on the grid to 12th. He'd love to get a top 10 to round out his first weekend in EuroNASCAR 2. I think he admitted to me that he was rather taken aback by the ways of racing in EuroNASCAR. He usually races a historic touring car, and obviously historic racing is very gentlemanly. No, after you, I insist. It's a bit less like that in EuroNASCAR, and so he's, I think, converted himself over to a slightly more aggressive style, and seems to be paying dividends in the early going. Vladimiros Siortsis leads the way then after 6 laps of racing. We're about to start lap 7 of 31, and he's got a decent little gap this time by EuroNASCAR. It was just 0.2 last time, it's extended out to 0.6 of a second on this lap. And again, Siortsis pushing his luck a little bit with the track limits. If he gets that wrong by just a few inches, he may end up in the gravel, but he seems to be running to the limits. And that is the mark of a good driver, being able to go right to the edge every single lap, but never making the mistake. Martin Dubek there in P3. He would like to try and get on another overall podium, of course. Our defending EuroNASCAR 2 champion, who is also competing in EuroNASCAR Pro within the Challenger Trophy. He got an overall podium earlier today. It shows really that there is very little between the sharp end of the 2 categories. I think really, if you were to put either Vladimiros Siortsis or Alberto Nasca into EuroNASCAR Pro, I reckon they'd be able to fight for podiums, if not wins. Both categories are highly competitive, as Deodar continues to pressure the number 23. Tuomas Pontonen under pressure from the Indian driver. And through the Clark curve and onto clearways they go for the 9th time, or the 8th time in this race. These cars cross the line now to begin lap number 9. It is quite a pack forming behind Matthew Ellis at this stage. Of course, Ellis, as a series debutant, will have never had to deal with some of the regulations here, including the tyre saving, although I'm sure in his own pursuits in historic racing, he has used the same set of rubber in races and quali before. Garisto has come to a halt there on the main straight and all, catching some of the drivers unawares there. That looked nasty. So he's fallen down the order in the last lap or so. I think he's been there for a lap. I didn't spot that initially. And maybe it was not just him involved, because there is the number 1 car coming in with big damage, Kasparis Vingelis. The Lithuanian driver, unfortunately, pulling the number 1 car in with damage, and it seems as though Francesco Garisto's car is also heavily damaged and leaning down on the left rear corner. So whether he's had a failure or whether he had contact with someone, I'm not sure, but that car is not wanting to move under its own steam. Hugely unfortunate for Garisto. Siortsis continues to lead then. He hadn't really built much of a gap over Alberto Nasca prior to the safety car coming out, so I don't think he'll feel too hard done by this. But of course, it does mean a 2x2 formation rolling restart, so there's really no time a leader would be truly happy with the fact that the safety car has come out. Alberto Nasca will once again have to try and defend from Martin Dubeck, of course. Garisto getting out of the 17 car. And, oh dear, head on the bonnet as well. I think he's very disappointed in the outcome of this weekend in general. Yeah, you can see it in his body language there on screen. Hopefully Garisto can come back swinging next time out in Italy at Vallelunga. There's the 54 car. Good to see that that car is looking pretty much as intended, despite the big incidents it had in the pro race earlier. Luli Del Castello currently runs down in 23rd place. And something that I've just been informed by Wijakanka from World of EuroNASCAR, and he makes a very good point. The number 40 car from Speedhouse is back out on circuit. We thought that the Speedhouse number 40 car was unable to compete for the rest of the weekend. That was seemingly the prognosis following Saturday's racing. But it's very good to see, and I'm very pleased to report that Matthias Hauer is back out there in the number 40 car. There was some talk that Mark Goossens may hop behind the wheel of the 40 for EuroNASCAR Pro today. However, he decided not to, so Matthias Hauer may have one of the fresher cars out there on the grid today, all told. Fewer war wounds, perhaps, on that car. It's interesting how, as the weekend wears on a EuroNASCAR weekend, more and more cars seem to end up with plain white or plain black bumpers where there had previously been a livery. Just starting lap 13 of the race. Don't think it'll be too much longer before the safety car is brought in. Siortsis will resume the race at the head of the field. I don't think we have the safety car in this lap. Hasn't come up on my timing screen anyway. So at least one more lap under safety car conditions. It looks to me as though most of the problems out there on circuit have been rectified, but perhaps there's some debris or some such elsewhere on the circuit. They're just making sure that the track is back to A1 condition before we go back to racing. One interesting point here is that with the safety car likely coming to an end at about half distance in this 31 lap race, we're about to go on to lap 14. I rather wonder whether or not we're going to have to worry about lap traffic. I think Vladimiros Tsiotsis would actually get away with not catching the lap traffic over 15 laps here at Brands Hatch. So that could be useful for Vladimiros. One less obstacle as he tries to defend the lead from Alberto Nasca. And you can imagine that Vladimiros Tsiotsis is extra motivated here today because, of course, he was leading all race long last time out, yesterday in round 3. It was the last restart when we went to overtime, a 2-lap dash to the finish. It was that last restart where Alberto Nasca managed to scythe his way up from 3rd to 1st in one fell swoop. And Tsiotsis ended up losing the lead with just 1.5 laps to go. He will not want to repeat of that, and he will want to stamp his authority on this race. Safety car obviously in this lap because we are back to 2x2 formation. There are still slippery surface flags down on the Cooper Straight, but they're now being withdrawn, which is good news. We are about to go back to racing then, and it is the number 5 and the number 88 car once again on the front row. The front 2 rows of the grid are exactly as advertised at the start of the race. Tsiotsis on the inside of front row, Alberto Nasca on the outside, then it's Dubek and Hazemans on row 2. Ulis Del So and Claudio Capelli on row 3 of the grid. The cars roll down towards the start gantry once again then, and as they go on to lap 15 of the race, they are racing once more. And let's see who has the lead into the first corner. Surely Tsiotsis can hold it, but Nasca all the way around the outside at Paddock Hill Bend. Alberto Nasca. Wow, wow, wow. Incredible stuff. One of the Team Blake-Molen cars went for a spin further back in the pack. But goodness gracious me, that 88 car, Alberto Nasca. Oh, it was the Speedhouse car. Okay, it was a 64 car that went for a spin on the exit of Paddock Hill Bend. But nonetheless, Alberto Nasca is our race leader. Eric Quintal, I think, is out of harm's way there in the 64 after that spin. So hopefully we don't need to obstruct the race particularly. But Vladimiros Tsiotsis, this time around, he's got 15 laps to retaliate as opposed to 1.5. He's going to be trying his very best now to get past Alberto Nasca. For the first time this weekend that I can recall, we have seen a round the outside move at Paddock Hill Bend. Alberto Nasca take a bow. What an amazing move that was. He now has to focus up. I'm sure he gave a little whoop in the helmet after that move. The number 50 car, Liam Hazemans. Is up to 3rd place as well, so Hazemans up to 3rd place, Dubek down to 4th. Also, again, good start from Matthew Ellis. He's got himself up into the top 10 to 9th. I think Melvin de Groot ahead of him in 8th made up some places too. So again, some moving and shaking as we went back to 2x2 rolling start formation. But no bigger shake-up than at the front of the order because it is Alberto Nasca leading the way. And once again, Liam Hazemans is in a good position here to claim another overall podium in EuroNASCAR 2. Nasca getting a bit sideways there through Clark Curve and into Clearways. Back onto the Brabham Straight he goes though. Didn't seem as though that sideways moment particularly cost him in terms of drive out of the corner. He takes a nice wide line through Paddock Hill Bend on entry. Shades of what we were seeing out of Alan Day yesterday actually in EuroNASCAR Pro. I wonder if he was studying the tapes overnight. We saw a bit of a moment in the back of shot just now for Claudio Capelli going through Paddock Hill Bend, but thankfully he didn't go off circuit. Gil Linster there going sideways as he tries to hold on to 11th. I think that actually, no, make that 12th place now. Linster has been overtaken on this lap by Advait Dioda, and he's now trying to hold off Panabianco in the 89. I think Gil Linster is struggling a little bit in this race. And just behind Panabianco as well is Paul Giffreau, who has also lost some positions. And Linster trying to find a way back past Advait Dioda there. And he might have done it, you know, because they're side by side running down the hill, but Advait has the inside line into Graham Hill Bend. Oh, and the 40 car is off. We were talking about the fact that Hauer was finally able to go racing today in that number 40 car after it was sidelined for all of Saturday. But unfortunately for him, unfortunately for Matthias Hauer, he is off the road there at Paddock Hill Bend. He's not in a good position either. Yellow flags will be waving down there unless he's been able to get the car back underway. Oh, and Advait there getting sideways. Everyone scrabbling to avoid the 40, which is definitely in a dangerous position. It looks as though the front nose has got caught on the gravel there. Safety car, unsurprisingly, has been declared. Our second caution of the race then, owing to the stranded number 40 car with Matthias Hauer. And we get a look at what happened there, and, well, unfortunately for Matthias, I don't think he has anyone to blame there. It may have been a failure rather than a mistake, to be fair, though. Nonetheless, Matthias Hauer is still stuck in the gravel. The safety car is once again out on the circuit. We have 10 laps to go. I think we may end up with 5 or 6 laps of racing here. I believe we'll once again have a 2x2 restart. So Alberto Nasca is going to hope he doesn't end up with a taste of his own medicine here. Nasca has been the king of capitalizing on restarts this weekend. He did it to take the victory in race 1. He did it again just now to take the lead in race 2. What can Alberto Nasca do as he defends the lead when we go back to green flag conditions in a few laps' time? Marshall's working very efficiently as ever to remove the stricken number 40 car out of the Speedhouse stable. The recovery vehicle already down there at Paddock Hill Bend. So then the field makes their way along the Cooper Straight through Surtees and McLaren. There's Christian Maltrek. Of course, he struggled to get off the line ahead of the formation laps earlier. He now runs in 16th position, so he's made up a good few places there. He started down in 22nd, so he's made up some positions. Matthew Ellis, who started in 16th place, we've been tracking his progress. He's back down to 10th now, having previously been in 9th, but still in a top 10 position. If he can hold on to that, he'll be happy. Same can be said of Pontonen in the 23 car. Pontonen started a little way further down in 13th, and he's running in 9th place. Let's talk you through some of the class leaders at the moment then. The rookie class is currently being led by our overall leader. That's Alberto Nasca. The leader of the Legends class as it stands is Melvin de Groot in the 69 Team Blake-Molen Ford Mustang. And the leading driver in the Lady Trophy class, I believe, is Leubnerger in the 94 car, unless I'm very much mistaken, Alina Leubnerger. In fact, no, sorry, Luli Del Castello is just ahead of her in 21st overall. I think she is leading that class. They've just managed to start removing that car, and I think Christian Malczarek is having more problems. Malczarek coming to a halt once again, out of 16th place. We also see the 65 car in the pit lane. That's Benedetti. Roberto Benedetti, the Italian driver in the Legend Trophy class. Unfortunately, his car sidelined in pit lane for now. Lap 23 of the race. So 8 to go as it stands. And with the stricken car removed, I do wonder if we may be about to go back to racing conditions. There's still some gravel and debris going on around the circuit, and we just saw Melvin de Groot doing a bit of a power slide there through Druids. The perennial showman that is Melvin de Groot. There's the 94 car. That's Leubnerger in the Racing Fuel Motorsport entry. That's driven by Konstantin Kietza in the EuroNASCAR Pro category. Of course, with the Malczarek car still stranded, we are not able to go back to racing just yet. They're going to have to recover Christian Malczarek as well. What a shame for Christian. You've seen him trying to get the car restarted, but it looks as though that's a hopeless endeavour. And now Malczarek is more than likely going to be added to our list of retirees. I believe we have just the 23 cars left of the 29 that started. Alberto Nasca still leading the race. They're going to have to be careful once they go back to green flag, particularly the drivers that like to test the limits on the outside of Paddock Hill Bend, because you see there's quite a bit of gravel down on the outside of the corner. They're going to have to proceed with caution. I think we're going to have at least one more lap under safety car. Malczarek's car has now been moved, or perhaps it's moved under its own steam. I'm not too sure, but Malczarek has been recovered there. You see there's an escape road to the back of the paddock just there on the outside of Surtees turn 4. So it's never that long of a recovery if a car comes to a halt there. It looked like it was still able to roll. It hadn't completely seized up, so I wasn't expecting it to be that long of a tow back. But we go on to lap 25. I think we are about ready to restart this race. So let's see if the safety car is confirmed in this lap. If it is, we'll have a nice 5 laps of racing, and it's now confirmed that the safety car is in this lap. So we are going racing this time by. It's going to be 5 laps of racing. A nice 5-lap sprint to end the EuroNASCAR 2 weekend at Brands Hatch with a flourish. As we've alluded to, Alberto Nasca, who has profited from restarts a few times, is now going to have to try and hold them off. It looks like we're doing a single file restart, so no 2x2 on this occasion, the stewards have decided. guess they don't want to have to risk another overtime or indeed running long towards the end of the evening here. There is a curfew to beat here at Brands Hatch, so single file restart may make things a bit safer as we go back to green flag conditions. NASCAR leads the way, Siortis in second, Hazeman's third, and Dubek rounds out the top four as they run through Paddock Hill Bend for the first time. It's a good line from Alberto NASCAR, a good restart from Alberto NASCAR, and he is our race leader once more as we start the final 5 laps of the race. Vladimiros Siortis, they're trying to get the power down out of Druids. These tyres, as in EuroNASCAR Pro, will have done the qualifying, will have done the first race, and they may now just be past their prime when it comes to grip. So you will start to see drivers sliding a bit more. NASCAR, again, yeah, very sideways there. You can see him counter steering as he goes through Clark Curve and Clearways. He crosses the line, 4 to go for Alberto NASCAR. I know so many of you at home are willing on Alberto NASCAR, the YouTube sensation. Or some drivers testing the outer limits at Paddock Hill Bend, even though the gravel trap is now extended. There's gravel all over the curbs there, and one driver's pushed it too far. That's the number 8 car. Oh, that's hugely unfortunate for Paolo Valeri. Valeri off the circuit then. And he's well dug into the gravel at Paddock Hill Bend. Now, we have seen cars in a dangerous position covered by local yellows for the rest of the race before. We saw it in EuroNASCAR Pro earlier, so let's see what the decision is. No safety car called as of yet, so I think we might be pressing on till the finish of this race. But of course, a good overtaking opportunity, that being the one into Paddock Hill Bend, has been taken from them, and safety car is out with 3 to go. Will we end under safety car, or will we have another instance of overtime? We'll have to see. We do like to try and end these races under green where we can. Alberto NASCAR then remains in the lead of this race. You saw there Valeri's car deep in the gravel at turn 1. Let's see what course of action is taken then. Have we had another car off in the gravel out at the back end of the circuit? Maybe not. Maybe the wind is just pushing the gravel dust down the pit lane. Thought there might have been another car off in the gravel because there was certainly a muddy haze in the air there down at the last turn. 3 to go then. And let's see what happens next here. Wait for confirmation as to what will happen next. I don't think they're going to recover that car in time to run it to the 31 lap distance with a green flag finish. So whether we'll roll under safety car to the end or not, we're not sure. It's been a fabulous weekend of action across both disciplines of EuroNASCAR this weekend. And Alberto NASCAR will cross the line this time. And in theory, he's just 2 laps away from a victory here in the second race. It'll be his 3rd consecutive win in EuroNASCAR 2, Alberto NASCAR. It would also be a clean sweep here at Brands Hatch, of course. Some of the rather more battle-scarred cars further down the order. Melvin de Groot has lost a lot of places on that last several laps, as has Matthew Ellis. I don't know whether those two things are connected, but certainly both Ellis and De Groot have had a moment or two out there on circuit, because they were both running in the top 10, and now they're down to 18th and 19th respectively. The cars roll along Cooper Straight once again. The lights on the safety car are still on. Doesn't look like we're going to go racing this time then. In theory, we're going on to the final lap here. We're not sure yet as to whether this race will end under safety car. We may yet go to overtime. Oh, that is a badly damaged car. Valeri, I think, met the gravel and the wall. And Valeri saw him out of the car safely, which is the main thing. But the team down at Racers Motorsport are going to be loading up a very damaged number 8 car, unfortunately. Well, this is the final lap of the race. On the timing screen, it is the final lap of the race per schedule, and we've just had it confirmed we're having overtime. So we are going to have a 2-lap dash to the finish, by my understanding. The cars are once again starting in single file. So 2 more laps of racing. Alberto Nasca isn't going to have it easy. 2 more laps. He won the race in overtime yesterday. Can he hold on to the win in race 2 with more overtime? Grandstand viewing the absolute definition of it in front of us right now. Green flag, 2 laps of racing. Let's go, ladies and gentlemen. What's going to happen here? Alberto Nasca leads the way as they run through the first corner. Siortsis there in second place. Hazeman's still in third ahead of Martin Dubek. Dubek trying to find a way through. Hazeman's all the way around the outside of Siortsis. I think he's got that done. Yes, he has. What a move from Liam Hazeman's. Hazeman's on the attack here. He's all over the back of Alberto Nasca. Has Liam Hazeman's got fresher tyres than anyone else? It certainly looks as though he's got more grip. Liam Hazeman's on the offensive. He's into second. He makes a move for first. Hazeman's and Nasca side by side. They touch and they touch again. And they're side by side. Oh, lots of contact between the two of them. Hazeman's versus Nasca. Final lap of the race. Nasca just about ahead. But Hazeman's has the inside into Paddock Hill Bend. He's through. It's the lead. Liam Hazeman's is our race leader. Siortsis tried to get past Nasca. Nasca in second place. Hazeman's has done it, I think. He's into the lead of the race. What a showing on these last couple of laps from Liam Hazeman's. He's got just a few corners waiting between him and the checkered flag. Martin Dubek still there in fourth place. Capelli has got through into fifth on that final lap in the number 18 car, but it's going to be Liam Hazeman's, our race winner in the Mustang for Hendricks Motorsport. Goodness me, Liam Hazeman's the latest Hazeman's family member to become a race winner in EuroNASCAR. It's his first ever win on his second ever weekend of car racing. The rest of the pack look like they're still going, but the race has definitely ended. So it seems as though no one else has got the memo, but that was meant to be the end of the race. It was meant to be a 2-lap dash. I'm not sure quite what's happened there, but that was definitely meant to be the end. I don't think everyone saw the checkered flag, though. Our understanding is that that race was completed on that lap. I don't think everyone got the memo, but now they have. I'm sure that was scary for Liam Hazelmans. He might have thought he'd had a problem there. Goodness me. I'm sure Liam Hazelmans thought he did an Alicia Spargaro from last weekend of the MotoGP there. But no, he did see the checkered flag. No, he wasn't seeing things. Yes, he is a race winner in EuroNASCAR 2. Liam Hazelmans. I know that his father, Twan, is going to be so happy with that. The younger brother of the reigning EuroNASCAR Pro Champion in just his second weekend of racing has taken his first ever win in the world of EuroNASCAR. What a performance. How exciting. And we will eventually see the number 50 car. There he is. Liam Hazelmans trying to get through the traffic. Everyone went jetting past him. Let's run you through the order then. The top 10, it was Liam Hazelmans taking the win. It was Alberto Nasca in second place. Vladimiros Tsiortsis eventually only finishing third ahead of Martin Dubek fourth. Capelli, the third place runner among the rookies and fifth overall. In sixth place is Del So in the number 3 car. Then the 89 of Panabianco finishing 7th. Schober in the 27 finishing 8th. Paul Giffreau in the number 33 finishes 9th. And rounding out the top 10 was Tuomas Pontinen. And Liam Hazelmans is going to be elated with that result. Such a great young guy. Had a long chat with him earlier, and there's his father, Twan Hazelmans, congratulating him as well. Liam, the youngest of a significant racing dynasty that covers the worlds of EuroNASCAR, GT racing, and indeed the NASCAR Cup Series, of course, with Team Hazelberg this year. That's where the racing is being done for Loris this year. Liam Hazelmans, though, is the latest race winner in EuroNASCAR 2. What a weekend for the young Dutch driver. I noticed he's even got a Loris Hazelmans helmet on, which only ever helps with the L initials as well. But it will be Liam Hazelmans who has a chat now with Andre Viegold. Welcome to the Winners Club, Liam Hazelmans.
Welcome to Victory Lane, the second Hazelmans in Victory Lane in EuroNASCAR. Amazing race. Talk us through that last laps. You made the move.
Yeah, no, it was crazy. Incredibly happy. I mean, it was an awesome weekend for sure. Yeah, and I mean, yeah, we just heard into the radio. Mark told me, yeah, we were going in overtime, so 2 laps to go. And yeah, no, incredibly happy. I just thought, okay, just try it. And yeah, it worked out, it hung out, so yeah, so incredibly happy to be the second in Victory Lane. Super nice.
How did you do that? Auto racing, you start your auto racing career in Valencia a few weeks ago, and now you're already a race car winner. What happened there?
Yeah, actually, I don't know. I have to thank my team. That's for sure. They did an amazing job for sure. After Friday, I crashed the car, so yeah. They just made an amazing job, and for sure I have the best coach, my dad and Loris, that is 2-time NASCAR champion, so yeah, incredibly happy. Awesome, was really, I have no words, no words.
All right, thank you so much, congratulations.
Yeah, thanks man.
Thank you, man.
Thank you.
Great to hear from Liam. Well, he's not a kid in America, that's his brother Loris, but what a win for Liam. And well, Alberto Nasca, he won the race in overtime yesterday. He lost it in overtime today. Second place for Alberto Nasca on that occasion. Nasca with a great performance today, though, and we're going to hear from him now.
Alberto, overtime, a last lap dash. It was amazing for the fans. How was it in your view?
Not good. I made a mistake, unfortunately. I was struggling with the tires in the end, and I just made a mistake in the last corner, and Edmonds was able to get into the inside, and then he passed me, but I should be the winner because they didn't show the checker flag, so the race wasn't finished there. Then they gave the red flag. So when they give the red flag, the results is in the previous lap. So in the previous lap I was leading. So they didn't show the checker flag, and I don't know why. So I almost risked to crash into Edmonds, but he celebrated without the checker flag. So is the race over or not? I don't know. I don't know what happened, but I kept pushing because with no checker flag. I kept pushing. Then I saw the red flag. I don't know if something going to change, but this doesn't change the result of Edmonds, which was very good. It doesn't change my mistake, which was a mistake I need to work on. But I just want to say thanks to all the team because they did an incredible job. The car was amazing for the whole weekend, and yeah, they did an incredible job. So thanks to the team.
All right, thank you so much. Congratulations for second place. Bigger picture. Championship. We have to talk about that. After 4 races, 2 wins, you're in the mix.
Yeah. I'm happy that Edmonds won because this way it means that I am the driver who scored the most points this weekend. So I gain on everyone. So that was good for the battle between me and Siortsis. Yeah, it's a bitter second place, but not that bitter because at the end of the weekend I scored the most points. So it's good. I'm consolidating the lead in the championship. What's good is that in race 2 I had more than Siortsis because I understood better how to drive this car, and yeah, you know, it's my second race in the EuroNASCAR, so every race I'm improving. I'm closing the gap from the drivers faster than me, so I'm confident for Vallelunga.
All right, thank you so much. Congratulations.
There you go. Interesting there from Alberto Nasca. We'll have to see what the post-race ends up looking like then, if they didn't in fact display the checkered flag. I must admit I didn't see whether they did or not, but that will all come out in the wash. What we know for now is that Liam Hazeman's at the end of the 2-lap overtime crossed the line first. Liam Hazeman's with absolute delight on his face in that interview earlier on with Andre Viegold. And let's take a look then at the decisive move on the penultimate lap of the race. A bit of panel bashing. 2 touches, make that 3, as Hazemans and Nasca fought hard. Nasca still had a nose ahead going into Paddock Hill Bend, but if someone's got the inside line into Paddock Hill, it's very difficult to stop them passing. And pass is exactly what Liam Hazemans ended up doing. You see there the red flag was displayed to cease the racing. Well, let's see. Obviously a majority of the field carried on pushing after Hazemans crossed the line. And it seemed as though Hazemans was perhaps the only one who realised that the race was meant to end after 2 laps during the overtime. Well, we'll have to see. Of course, we will have a suite of podiums yet to come as the drivers celebrate their results this weekend, as well as the overall podium. We'll have the rookie, the legend, and the lady trophy podiums, and a host of other celebrations too. Well, overtime in both of the EuroNASCAR 2 races have proven very entertaining indeed. And wow, Liam Hazemans has provisionally added his name to the list of winners in EuroNASCAR 2. This is how it happened then. This was the first start. This is how the race started, with Siortsis on pole. Alberto NASCAR around the outside. NASCAR tried to hold on around the outside in the first instance, couldn't get it done. Had a car off further back in the order as Vladimiros Siortsis held on to the lead. Dubek was challenging for second place, but NASCAR powered around the outside to hold on to second at that early stage. The 40 car off in a spin, that triggered one of the safety cars that we had during the race. Unfortunate end to the day for Matthias Hauer. Christian Malczarek had a problem as well in the safety car period. The car ground to a halt. Of course, we saw it struggling to get off the line before the race even begun, so it seems as though they were having some problems in general during that race. The restart once again with NASCAR in the lead. And Hazeman's was there in third place. What we didn't know is that he wasn't intending to stay there for long. Another safety car brought out by the number 8, Dario Casso. Casso into the gravel, Casso into the wall. And unfortunately, Dario Casso having a great fall through the order. Liam Hazeman's, when we went to overtime, around the outside of Vladimiros Siortsis to take second place. Then he was behind Alberto NASCAR. NASCAR ran it slightly wide through McLaren, and that was enough to open the door to Liam Hazeman's. A bit of panel bashing between the two of them as they ran down towards the Brabham Straight. It was side by side running towards Paddock Hill Bend on the final lap. Hazeman's outbraking NASCAR. Hazeman's into the lead, and eventually it would be Liam Hazeman's taking the win in the 4th round of the season in the EuroNASCAR 2 category. So the grid, or rather the podiums, should be underway shortly. Liam Hazeman's then with his car in victory lane. The drivers are just making their way up towards the podiums at the moment. And the podium sheet that I've been sent does indeed have Liam Hazeman's on the top step, so it seems as though any issues with the end of the race aren't being factored into the podium celebrations. At least you may remember that the last podium of the weekend at Valencia took quite a long time to happen, but I believe we will have the podiums ongoing in just a moment. So then the top 3 overall will be the first out onto the podium, which will start, of course, with Vladimiros Siortsis, who, all in all, has had a strong weekend. But, of course, he lost the win in the last couple of laps yesterday. He went from pole to 3rd today. I think he'll feel he could have had a better run, but nonetheless, he remains in firm championship contendership. And one would argue he's probably the primary contender to Alberto NASCAR this year. At least that's the forecast after 4 rounds of the season. But Liam Hazeman's, improving each weekend, may have something to say about that, because he's certainly not that far down the points order. He's shown impressive pace. And now he's taken his first win. So then the podium should start in a few moments. Also want to give a big shout out to the marshals. You see one of the marshals there alongside the team, and obviously the marshals volunteer and are the integral part of any given racing weekend. Could not go racing without the marshals. So our thanks, as always, go to the Army in Orange, the marshals here at Brands Hatch. I believe we will soon have the podium displayed. Some EuroNASCAR officials working at the moment. I think they were just looking for a driver there. That was Ariana Casoli. I assume she was missing from the podium in the Lady Trophy, and Gianluca from EuroNASCAR having a bit of a chat with Chris Dawes, who's the local circuit commentator for Brands Hatch this weekend. We've heard from him in all of the podium ceremonies this weekend. Our thanks to everyone here at Brands this weekend. We see the fans there on the spectator banks, and the fans really have been the thing that has made this event so special. The American Speedfest 9. The last 2 years have been a little quieter because of capacity restrictions owing to the global situations over the last couple of years. We're back to full capacity in 2022. The fans have been uproarious, and the support of the local car clubs, the American car clubs of the UK, the support of the racing enthusiasts of this country has never waned for the American Speedfest. And this year has been the proof in the pudding. They've added elements, live action shows, monster truck demonstrations, and so on. And I think probably the biggest collection of NASCAR Cup cars ever assembled in the UK at one time this weekend too, for some demo sessions. It's been a fabulous weekend of truly cross-Atlantic style racing. The trophies are now being put onto the podium, so I reckon we are just a short few moments away from getting the celebrations underway. And so now I believe we are just a few seconds away from having that podium, and you see the racing action not relenting at American Speedfest. There's plenty going on here, and I will say that if you have not attended one of these before and you're within the locality of Brands Hatch, you should absolutely come next year. Not just for us here at the NASCAR Whelen Euro Series, but also for the support events, for the off and on track activities. Definitely come along in the years to come. Seems that once you come once, you can't stop as well. Quite a few people running around with Speedfest shirts from 5 or 6 years ago and have come every year since. I believe podium should be underway in just a moment, but I think they're calling the start of the next race on the live feed. Of course, Matthew Ellis, who was running in EuroNASCAR 2 just now, would have an interested stake in the race that was just getting started there for the Bernie's V8s, because his car is running in it with a different driver. These long-raced TVRs and historic saloon cars has Matthew Ellis, and I reckon I saw one of the drivers scampering up to the podium just a moment ago, so I think we may have been missing someone from the podium. That might be why we've had a slight delay. And if it's who I think it was, and I won't say in case I'm wrong, but if it is who I think it was, we need him. So should be just a few moments before the podium gets underway, and Of course, these EuroNASCAR machines, they run 400 brake horsepower there or thereabouts, a little over. They run 1,200 kilos as well, which is a relatively light curb weight given the size of the car. They have made for spectacular racing time and time again. And this year, and this weekend at Brands Hatch, no exception. Vallelunga should be another great race for these cars. It's a brilliant circuit, so we expect great things from there. But for now, the podium, and I think a slightly subdued Vladimiros Tsiotsis there on the third step of the podium. Second place for Alberto Nasca. And here comes the winner, Liam Hazemans. There you go. Hazemans is our race winner. We're going to hear the Dutch national anthem for young Liam in a moment, but for now, the trophy's being presented. And Alberto Nasca receiving the second place trophy. The winner, though, is Liam Hazemans in his second weekend of car racing. Liam Hazemans is a EuroNASCAR race winner. And here is the Dutch national anthem. So Liam Hazemans is our race winner. We see a little highlight there of his celebration atop the roof, and now they're spraying the champagne, and Alberto Nasca is making doubly, I'm going to say triply sure, that he gives Liam Hazemans a bit of a soak. Hazemans having a chat with someone down there, having a little sip of the drink as well. I'm sure he is going to party long into the night. Vladimiros Tsiotsis there posing for a picture as well. I'm sure his fans in Cyprus will be delighted to see him having another success. Next up, we expect to see the presentation for the new leader of the championship, and that is for the 88 car, the 88 driver, that being Alberto Nasca. He will be the points leader. He will carry the red strip on the windscreen of his car when we go back to racing on the 9th and 10th of July. He's extended his points advantage, and Alberto Nasca is looking like the top man at the moment, isn't he? He's looking like the form driver. Tsiotsis was dominant in Valencia, although he did get disqualified from one of the races because of a technical infringement. Nasca, however, race in, race out, has been right up there at the sharp end. I reckon Alberto Nasca could well be the man to beat in Vallelunga as well. He's got lots of experience racing there, so we'll have to wait and see. Nonetheless, the Lady Trophy, the Legend Trophy podium going on at the moment, and Ariana Casoli there on the third step. Yevgen Sokolovsky carrying the Gulf colours onto the second step, and the winner, Miguel Gomez in the 46 car. Miguel Gomez winning the Legend Trophy class. Trophies are presented now. Yevgen Sokolovsky waving to team and family, I reckon, there. He's certainly a really happy figure in the paddock. I do Love to see Yevgen. He's always having fun. And there is Miguel Gomez, our winner in the Legend Trophy class. They pose for the picture. And I believe for Ariana, that's not going to be her last podium. No, because... in fact, no, sorry. So the rookie trophy is the last one. I don't think we're getting a Lady Trophy podium by the looks of the running order, unfortunately. So that is her one podium. But I will say that she also finished very well in that class as well. There is the one and the only Claudio Capelli. Second place in the rookie trophy for Alberto Nasca. And the winning rookie was, of course, also our winning driver. Liam Hazeman's taking all of the spoils here this weekend, or at least on the Sunday here at Brands Hatch. Liam has been exemplary in both EuroNASCAR Pro and EuroNASCAR 2. Alberto Nasca being presented the second place trophy. And our winner is, of course, Liam Hasemans in the rookie class. So delighted to see Liam having this success. Of course, next time out at Vallelunga, the circuit is quite a bit longer, so the lap count will go down, but the race length will remain the same at 60 kilometers for the EuroNASCAR Pro and EuroNASCAR 2. And now so we are having a Lady Trophy podium as well. Okay, so that wasn't on the sheet that I was given. And Alina Leubnerger there on the third step of the podium. Lily Del Castello taking the second step on the Lady Trophy podium. And then I did say she was going to be on there twice, and I was right, because the winner, or rather, no, I'm getting myself completely mixed up, because of course it was Alia Kolek who took the Lady Trophy win. Alia Kolek in the 29. They must have made a major effort in the Bugera camp to make sure that she took the start, because that car did look rather ropey after the crash in EuroNASCAR Pro. So I think the entire team is going to be satisfied with this work. Alia Kolek justifiably happy with her result there in the Lady Trophy. The young and vastly experienced driver with a bit of a royal wave there as she takes the top step in the Lady Trophy class. That is the last of the podium celebrations here at Brands Hatch, and that was the last of the action here at Brands Hatch 2. Make sure you join us on the 9th and 10th of July for EuroNASCAR at Vallelunga, Italy. It's going to be a fascinating continuation of a brilliant racing season from myself, Adam Weller, and everyone here at EuroNASCAR, including Andre Viegold and Gianluca Guiglia, whose contributions are immeasurable. It's goodbye and see you next time.